So, it's finally time, huh? The start of 3 more years of hell? Though, hopefully, Gen 10 won't happen for 4 years. Whatever. Let's do this then. Hello everyone, this is VG Master 2, and Generation 9 is upon us! For better or for worse. Probably worse. But Pokemon Scarlet and Violet come out probably tomorrow, or today, or yesterday, or however many millions of years late this video is. But I promised a video on all the pre-release info revealed in November, so here it is. Let's get into it. On November 1st or 2nd, it was near midnight my time, a trailer was released in Japan. It was just an overview trailer and it was only 5 minutes, but while it had no new info, it had new footage, so I guess that makes it kinda worth talking about. The game didn't look any worse, like one would hope, though I personally didn't think it looked any better. The graphics are still worse than the PS3. On November 4th, something was data mined from Pokemon Go. It was none other than the little coin bug dude who was accidentally shown in the shit-localized major trailer for October, who also incidentally was talked about in many posts by one of the few reliable leakers. About when the day rolled over, people found the little guy naturally spawning in their games. No name at that point, but it seems like they're pulling another Meltan, which kind of adds credence to the possibility that Meltan's a Gen 8 Pokemon, and we can cross him off the list. We just need the engine, the other engine, unless that's just a form, the Cerulegent Armarouge pre-evo, the mice, the parrot, and the rock salt mushroom thing. So get on it. Also on the 5th, they made a special website containing nothing but a chest and a counter of some sort, presumably a chest of coins that will lead to the official information of the little guy. It went through multiple phases, one about every 4 hours where more and more coins were added, before culminating with the final reveal on Sunday of all things. And yes, don't worry viewers, being someone with vast knowledge of Five Nights at Freddy's, the moment I saw that chest in a black void, I did get PTSD flashbacks of that fucking box from the 4th game. Thanks, Pokemon Company! At least this one actually opened! This little guy is officially Gimmighoul. Just like leaks indicated, he has multiple forms, including a chest form where he's in the chest, and a roaming form where he's out and about. Despite his bug-like appearance, he is purely a ghost type, and he is the coin chest Pokemon. His lore apparently includes that he uses his ghostly aura to force people to find more coins for him. His design is okay, definitely not the worst. His color palette is nice and simple and not too clashing. His antenna, being like dowsing rods, is pretty clever. At first glance, I wasn't the biggest fan of the fact that he looked like he was just a tiny bipedal bugman, but knowing that he's purely ghost type kind of helps since it means he's likely a spirit, and I'm willing to give them more leeway. Plus, his anatomy isn't super fucked. A very simple shape, but not horrible. The only thing I dislike is his mouth. Why does he have a side mouth coming from his eyeball? That's it. That's the only problem, and it's not even too bad, it's just slightly retarded. So you managed to make another Pokemon that wasn't a massive pile of garbage. Good for you, Game Freak. I hate that I have to start assuming that every Pokemon they reveal is gonna look like shit in some way, because that's just how bad some of their most recent designs have been. Jesus Christ, Game Freak, what happened to your design department? And yeah, I know, he looks like the Reddit mascot, yeah. But Reddit being fucking shit and, potentially, run by fucking pedos doesn't stop Gimmighoul from being a neat little gremlin who scrounges around, desperate for money before returning to what's effectively a garbage can. Wait! I'm just kidding. Gimmighoul isn't Spamton. Although, his eyes kinda look like glasses and one of them is already yellow. But Game Freak definitely wouldn't scrounge together an admittedly somewhat lazy and simple design with just enough lore and detail to reference one of Japan, and I guess the West too, RPG culture's most recent favorite characters at the last minute. Unless, I kid. Or do I? I wouldn't have made that joke, but apparently I'm not the only one fucking retarded enough to see those comparisons, so fuck it. Anyway, as implied by the earlier sightings of Gimmighoul and Pokemon Go, there's going to be an event where you can catch them. It's not entirely clear, because the lore on the website says that roaming form is impossible to catch, but it sounds like it might only be possible to get roaming form in Pokemon Go, which would be fucking garbage, but I wouldn't put it past them. But whatever, that wasn't the biggest dumpster fire. I would even say it was a little fun, aside from the FNAF 4 flashbacks, and getting something on a Sunday was a surprise, but a welcome one. So let's see what they did for the rest of the month, shall we? Well, not official information, but a few hours later, the game started to leak. Hey, I was just starting to wonder when that was gonna happen. Don't worry, I won't go into specifics. But also, the next day, on the 7th, they announced that another trailer was coming the day after that, on the 8th, which I realize is probably them trying to be attention whores and put the spotlight on them instead of letting it stay on Sonic and or God of War. Fun shit, let's get into it. It begins with a garbage Ed Sheeran song. Yeah, not fucking kidding, this final, big, really fucking important trailer for this game that is apparently the next evolution in the franchise, even though that took almost 30 years, uses a fucking Ed Sheeran song. It's a song that was already released, and one that might have just straight up been made for Pokemon, I think? But still. Way to take me and a fucking metric fuckton of people out of your trailer, retards. And then it decided to give us only new footage and almost no new info. Do you want people to buy your fucking garbage? Or do you think that people are just that retarded that they'll hear your Ed Sheeran song and just magically want it? Only 2 things were revealed, and I'm being very liberal about that. Okay, well then maybe 3. One of them is the Dragon Crystal. The others, well, we'll get to it after looking at the website, because there's some shit there. Just like Max Raids, different Crystal Raids will be rolled out. The first one is a Charizard with Dragon, because of fucking course, Charizard is in this fucking game. And they've abandoned the other Kanto starters, unless they're still in the code, or planned in DLC. Point is, leakers have been saying Charizard's the only Kanto starter in the game from what they found. We'll have to wait for the data mine, which will do a hell of a lot more good for marketing than whatever the fuck this trailer was. Apparently it says Charizards aren't normally seen in Paldea, but clearly, if it's here and in the fucking code, fuck that. They also revealed that, if you have saved data for some other games on your Switch, you can get different Rotom phone cases, which is actually perfectly fine, given that they would be expecting you to buy over $200 worth of their previous piles of shit. It's a lot better than making the reward be a fucking Pokemon Budspa. And I guess Legends Arceus, but that's not a main series game. Home connectivity will happen in 2023. They're saying early 2023, I don't trust them. Home is made by the same company who took an entire chunk out of the year to add a promised feature to an already released game, despite it supposedly being a faithful remake of a game that had that feature at launch 15 years prior. So go fuck yourself. It says you can transfer some Pokemon, with them depicting Kleavor and Hisui and Zoroark, although we already knew that latter one. On top of regular Crystal Raid rollouts, there will also be special event ones. The first one will be about Eevee. They have a supposed schedule, I don't care, so if you do, you can go to their main website and see it for yourself. Finally, we reach the other thing they actually revealed. They finally revealed Paradox forms, without calling them that, using Donphan, who has both a past and a future one. Oh, wait, are we not supposed to know that's Donphan? Nah, well, fuck it. It's obvious, and I stopped caring about keeping people in the dark about this retardation a long time ago. In both games, there is a book that Arven conveniently has that conveniently tells him and you about these past and future forms. Version exclusive, obviously. In Scarlet, there's past Donphan, for now temporarily titled the Great Tusk. In Violet, future Donphan titled Iron Treads. No official art, but we did see decent drawings and then close-ups of their designs. Past Dawn fan doesn't look too bad. He's just a good, spiky boy. Future Dawn fan makes me lose my hope in human creativity. Apparently, instead of making it the next natural step in evolution, Game Freak really did just take the brain-dead piss baby route of going, it's the future, so make it robot! And it's not even a good robot. It has no face. It just has a screen with angry pixel eyes. How the fuck is this thing even alive? Is it alive? How did it come to be? For fuck's sake, I more believe that the Ultra Beasts are real beings that exist naturally than this. And have you seen them? All this is telling me is that all of the future forms are gonna look like ass. Great. Thank you for giving me even more of a reason to worry about the brain cells of your fucking design department. If only the game could have its data dumped so I could rip off the band-aid on how bad everything else looks sooner rather than later. Also, didn't know where to put it because it's not news, but there was a scene of the trainer picking Quaxley where Quaxley was supposed to be sitting on her arm, but he wasn't sitting on her arm. Half of him was floating in the air. This was in the beginning of the trailer and is one of the first things to happen in the game. Really gunning for a strong opening, huh? But that's literally it for the trailer. Fuck me. You could have shown the middle starter evolutions, or fucking anything. No? You sure? Great, then I fully expect all three of them to look like shit. I mean, that's why you hid the Gen 8 ones, right? Because they were shit? Because they were shit. Actually, I'm not supposed to know this, but they did leak later that day, and they're actually not the worst thing ever. They are overall better than the Gen 8 starters. That's all I'm gonna say. Also, all of the future Paradox forms are robots. Not gonna tell you which Pokemon get them, but they are all robots. Because apparently Game Freak has no creativity. If they were actual robots made to look like specific Pokemon for a function, it might be alright, but that's probably not the case, because fuck me. Also, those codename titles are actually their names. Yeah, they don't have normal names. Cool, thanks assholes, even the Ultra Beast got that right. Maybe they're saving their real names for the DLC? But there's still a good 10 days left, they could pull more surprises. So let's ignore the fact that the lore and world building of the series is likely irreparably fucked and see what they do next. I feel like I've been saying the world building has been fucked every time for the last 3 generations, since like Gen 7. And yet they just keep outdoing themselves. Because fuck me, guess we can't have a normal story that is also good, we need to have the most balls to the fucking wall garbage imaginable. Fuck, you hire Toby for music, might as well hire him for writing. I mean, I don't particularly believe that his writing is one of his strongest points, but it's at least better than whatever the fuck was going on in Gen 8. Anyway, back to the news, what else did they do? Well, nothing. The Day 1 patch came out, a week before the game came out, and an English overview trailer came out, but that's it. Apparently, they thought that the Ed Sheeran music video was enough. Although I might as well be happy about that because in that time, the appearances of all the new Pokemon leaked. Not that it matters because apparently, and ironically, Spain ended up letting the game go out early, so the whole last thing is already out there. And God, must I say that this generation might just be the worst regional decks I've ever seen. Like, other regions have their stinkers, but oh my god. Not the best with percentages, but I'd say about only 10% are okay, and only 5% are actually good. The rest of them either suffer from a shit color palette, or shit anatomy, or both. It's actually kind of impressive how bad they managed to fuck this all up. It's not even that they would look okay if placed in Digimon or some shit, they actually just look horrible. I want to say I'll get used to most of them, but Jesus Christ. I guess James Turner really did take all the creativity and decent designing skills when he left. Holy shit. It's almost impressive, if it weren't so fucking depressing. Fucking AI can do better than this, let alone the countless fan artists. But that's it. I can't believe that this entire month's news was Game Freak saying, here's PTSD for FNAF fans, here's basically just spammed in, here's an Ed Sheeran song, that's it. I mean, really? That's all you have for your big revolutionary game that comes out in days? Fuck this shit. This is an abusive relationship. Why do I even stay here? Oh, that's right. I'm dependent on them to fuel my shitty fanfictions and YouTube hobby. Great. Perhaps the saddest thing out of all of this is, I actually think that the Ed Sheeran song was pretty good. It actually sounded pretty alright. Yeah, I hadn't heard it until now, cause why the fuck would I listen to garbage modern western pop music? But it's over. The hype season is done. Gen 9's here and it'll be staying with us for 3 or 4 years. Hopefully 4, but not because I want it to last that long, I just want the developers to have a break. And the 30th anniversary is the perfect opportunity. If Gen 8 is any indication, I fully expect them to reveal the shit that should be the normal postgame as DLC for another $30 in January. But that is yet to be confirmed. As for me, I have a whole slew of videos in the pipeline, so I ought to get to work on them in the few months I'll have available. As for the subjects, you'll have to wait and see. So, with that being said, I'm VG Master 2, and I hope to see you then.